right, we are live. Welcome, welcome. Let me make sure it's stand up. Okay, there we go. All right, welcome, guys, to our live tonight. We're trying something new today. I wanted to try a series. We'll see how it goes. I can't see the sunshine. All right. Good evening, Emily. How are you? Thanks for hopping on. So tonight we're gonna kind of talk about it's a topic that is kind of near and dear to my heart. Is talking to non-reptile keepers about the um, the reptile community and what responses are typical and experiences and such. And you guys, you're more than welcome to hop on if you'd like and talk with me about it. But I find it's very, very difficult to talk to people about the hobby and what I do here. I have to put a fine line in between a lot of things because I typically get the answer of, ew, that's gross. Why would you want to keep those things around? The only good snake is a dead snake. You know, what a waste of money. The list goes on and on and on and on. But when it comes to these animals, and because I do raise both snakes and lizards, I get both of the nastiness per se of those things. Hey Patrick, how are you? Emily says, "Oh, this is a tough one for me at times. They can be so judging and mean sometimes." Yeah, I get that all the time. Patrick's on here. You made it. Thank you and welcome. I appreciate you guys hopping on. No, I get that a lot, especially where I live. I'm not in a very high populated area, and those who keep exotic pets, reptiles, small mammals, and such, don't really talk about it. About keeping them, about having them. Sometimes I mention it and it's like, oh, that's cool. But other than that, it's very kind of hush hush here. So I like to try to tell people that what I do, but a lot of times I get such a nasty outcome on it. It's kind of crazy. Doing great. Had my first show today. It was a hit. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. That is wonderful. Awesome, awesome. That is awesome. I love when people do something and they does absolutely fantastic. That is absolutely wonderful. So anyway, I wanted to kind of touch on some of the things that could happen. A lot of things that I personally get. I had a previous employer. It's the same employer. I moved schools that I worked at, and the previous school, a lot of the employees and coworkers that were in and out and there around me thought me keeping reptiles was atrocious and disgusting, and I actually got a lot of grief one day. It's been probably last winter. I got I think it was like last October, I believe, if I remember correctly. I had a power outage, and I had to leave work, take off an afternoon from work to come home, to make sure that my animals were safe and taken care of, and everybody was warm, and I had to move everybody. Um, and a whole bunch of coworkers, they asked if I was okay, for one, which was awesome. But then I told them, I gotta go home. I got a power outage. I gotta move my scaly babies. And then I got the dirtiest look from people. The oh, I forgot about those creepy crawlies. What a waste of time. I wouldn't have to do that for my dog. Um, so I kind of wanted to touch on like informing people about it, because a lot of people really don't know about what we do, about reptile keeping, about what our our daily lives are with our animals. Yes, I agree. Tell those negative peeps stuff. It follows your dreams and be happy. Life is too short for negativity, which is why I wanted to kind of talk about this, um, because there's a lot of negative aspects on it, especially those who do not um, keep reptiles or exotic animals like hedgehogs and ferrets and sugar gliders and even like Bengal cats and such. There's a lot more than people realize that there is. So, trying to see if I can move something, but it didn't. It didn't want to work. Um, so what I try to explain to people, if they're willing to listen, uh, that yes, I don't have the same pet as you. Basically, I don't have the same lifestyle as you. To and try to explain what entails the animal. It's no different than going home to your dog or cat. Yes, it's different care, obviously, but it's not anything to be grossed out about, creeped out about, um, all that stuff. I try to talk to people all the time. People are scared of reptiles, and it impacts not only myself personally with people, but a lot of people. A lot of people. People use snakes to scare people. People use reptiles to, practical jokes. And it's sad. It really is. It's sad because our reptiles are our babies, our livelihood, our everything. It's what we do, what we take care of, and even people that breed. That's the bigger breeders. That's their job. That's their life, and we have too much to worry about than to deal with these kind of people. But we do deal with them. I deal with it daily. I'm known as the crazy snake lady by a lot of people that live near me. I'm the crazy snake lady, and it is what it is. So if anybody does want to hop on and talk about stuff like this is kind of what we're going off on this evening. Or just even in the comments, some experiences that you've had with people. We have uneducated, this is Patrick, uneducated people is usually what comes down to. These animals are given a bad reputation. It's our job to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. Each animal has its own place. I agree. And I'm constantly trying to educate our younger generations. Zen is here. Hello, how are you? I try to add a bit of my reptile stuff into my students that I teach. Even with even schools. It's so sad right now. I had a huge discussion with the admin of the school I work at, and recently they have changed rules that no one is allowed to have class pets. Now, when I was in school, I was homeschooled for a long time until my freshman year of high school, and then I went into a public school, and there were many class pets. One of them I have. I remember it was my corn snake Demeter, and he was in our ag department or agriculture stuff, and he actually ended up with another family, and then he's now with me, and he's 12, almost 13 years old. But I remember those animals and the impact those animals had in schools, and now we're not even allowed to have fish tanks in our schools. We're not allowed to have any class pets at all, and it's horrible because we can't share the knowledge of keeping an animal, of the animals that are there, and that includes like hamsters, guinea pigs. I've seen classrooms with rabbits, small fish tanks, and everything in between. We're not even allowed to do that anymore. So I try to educate as many people as possible. Let me catch up on comments. My family thinks I'm cray, but we do this for a kid, and that's what matters to me. That's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful that you're able to do that. Hello, guys. Aaron's in the house. Hello. Mitzi's here. Hello, Mitzi. What's going on, everybody? So it's just one of those things that I would like. Not only I'm challenging myself, but I'm challenging you guys as well to put more educational stuff out there. Even if it's like a fun fact or something. I'm going to be putting together something for our Instagram. I'll make it into a video so it will go on to here and our TikTok page as well on more educational stuff instead of seeing the typical baloney we see in social media about animals. There's quite a few people that do photography, and it's absolutely beautiful, but it's very like abnormal per se. Like, oh, I do photos with snakes. Like, what is that? How is that educating people? And I want to talk to people who do that, so I understand what their mindset is in doing that kind of stuff, along with, making certain animals as a scare tactic. Like that's my boa constrictors. I say I have a boa constrictor, and people flip out. I work with a lady, and I mention my snakes, and she will completely flip out. At all. It's crazy. And my boas are like puppy dogs, unless it's feeding day, obviously, but I know better not to mess with them basically on their feeding days, because that's feeding time. And yes, I do follow Creative Reptiles. I want to talk to him about it, and the mindset. Like, I want to learn how different people think. I'm a huge into picking people's brains, basically, um, and learn what how people think and such. That is awesome. That is wonderful. My goal is, for some reason, and I think it's because of the area I live in, and there's not a lot of animals and that people keep and talk about, but there's a lot of venomous species where I live, and people freak out about snakes, which I don't blame them. I wouldn't want a rattlesnake at my front door or near my dogs or anything like that. But we also have to learn to respect the animals that are in nature, because we're part of that environment. Especially out where I live. I live in the boondocks. I got acreage. I got acreage all around me. There's rattlesnakes everywhere. But I'm part of their environment. When we live out here, we have to um, be aware that they're here too. This is where they live too. Um, but I don't go out and seek them. A lot of people go out herping and seek them. I don't personally. I let them do their thing, mind their own business, and everything goes wonderfully. I don't do anything. If I see one, obviously I'll take a photo from a distance, but only if I see one and come across it. So now I work with venomous as well. They do carry huge negative aspect. They will, if will they still have an important part? Exactly, they're very important for our ecosystem. I see people all the time on Facebook pages for my local area that don't understand the animals within our ecosystem, and they just want them gone. They want nothing to do with them, even if they live out in the middle of nowhere. Um, Instead of watching out for them, they will kill them, or um, it's lots of negative things. I try to refer to people all the time. There's um, a company that does remove venomous. They have their handling all the jazz that they have to do. I don't know what that entails exactly, but they can take venomous and relocate them. I try to refer people all the time. I saw one even this morning. It was a rattlesnake. It was just, doing minding its own business, and they killed him because he was too close to the house, and there was just horrible, nasty comments on there. Yes, they don't want nothing to do with us. They want to get away from us. That's why I don't seek them out, because there's no need to. If I see one, wonderful. If I don't, I don't. Not a big deal. But yeah, there's a lot of negative attachments to reptiles. So I'm gonna be posting a lot more educational stuff. I've been wanting to do that for a while. Life's been everywhere crazy lately, but I want to start posting facts, because I do have quite a few species in this room. I do have some native species in my room that are here in Arizona that I want to share with people. One of them being my Sonoran gopher, that people mistake as a rattlesnake all the time, and they're constantly killed. constantly. So I want to do more things like that, just to um, expand the knowledge of these things, because they're not they're not put out there as these necessary animals to have on our world, let alone us keeping them. People think we're nuts. Um, but I mean, people even think I'm crazy. I have just over 20 ball pythons at the moment, and people think I'm absolutely nuts for having that many ball pythons. Completely bonkers. But I know people that are in bigger areas that have more reptile related people in the areas that have hundreds of ball pythons. Hundreds. And eventually I would like to get there. I would like to I have lots of I would say mini because I don't really have that many mini projects. Um, but I know a lot of people that have way more snakes than I do, and they don't really have too many problems because they're in a more populated area. So I'm trying to not only localize, reptile keeping is it's okay to keep reptiles. It's okay if you have all the proper humidity, lighting, heating, everything they need, and they're thriving, and thriving, not surviving. We gotta really push that on people. Surviving is not thriving. If you have an animal in an enclosure and it's just surviving in there because you're doing the bare minimum, that's not thriving. I'm constantly changing my enclosures to better fit my animals. I'm constantly looking up videos of these animals, even in the wild. I'm about to change my ball pythons again. I've been testing different bedding and trying to get them as comfortable as possible. And there are. Hi, honey. You look exhausted. All right, I'll come in after the live, okay? Love you. Bye. Abby just got home from work. I'm crazy too, guys. I'm nuts. And I'm called that often. Emily said that's a really good idea, especially highlighting species that you have that are local. Great work. Thank you. I'm trying to expand the knowledge, especially like I could go hours and hours and rant about it and bore the crap out of people, but it's crazy the amount of people that don't have any love for animals at all. Crazy. Even just respecting the animals out, like the bugs. I'm a stickler especially at work when I'm with my students. Typically, little boys love to smash ants, smash beetles, be destructive and kill them. I try to teach them the benefits of them and to leave them alone. I've had all my kids, they will now point out bugs, lizards. We have kind of a garden area in our school, and we have garden snails located in there. I also bring my garden snails. I do have garden snails. I don't really post about them. I had quite a few for a long time, and it kind of dwindled down to just a few. Now I have quite a few now. I'm going to be breeding those for food for some of my animals. Actually, my blue-tongued skink loves the snails. So when my snails get large, then I have another food source for him. I try to keep him enriched and active. Another one of my changing of my keeping because I ain't doing it by the book. I have certain temperatures, certain things, but I'm constantly changing, uh, um, watching stuff, reading on stuff, to change my animals' enclosures to better them. Not a bad idea, right? So, see if my tablet's on. I want to share this, guys. If you guys would share the video, that'd be wonderful. Get some more people on here. See if my tablet's on. No, it's dead. Well, whatever. I can't share it. It's okay. I want to put it out there more because I do get a lot. You know, what are your hobby? And people trying to make friends, especially. I have a hard time making friends with people that are not in the reptile community. Because I try to talk to people and ask me, the typical question, what are some of your hobbies, right? I go, oh, well, I don't have very many. I like to paint. I like to doodle. I like arts and crafts. And then as soon as I say I keep reptiles, it shuts people down. For some reason. Heck if I know. It shuts people down like none other. Like, it's just, oh, I keep reptiles. And the conversation kind of ends and they're like, oh, well, that's interesting kind of thing. And they think you're a freak. Complete freak. Which is crazy. Like, why? That shouldn't scare people. There's a lot worse people do than keep reptiles as pets. Like who's gonna, this cute little face right here. Look at him. Who wants to say no to that? Like, look at this little dude. That doesn't make me a freak. I think they're so cool. What do you think? Do you think you're cool, Tarny? Like, these guys are cool. They're not weird. But I know people have different mindset of everything. So I want to expand, challenge people to do the same. All that fun stuff. And even if you don't like reptiles, just to know that people keep them and work with them and the importance of them is all that matters. There's, I don't keep everything. There's a lot of things that I don't even keep that other people do. And alright, I got some comments. Took my snake to the post office the other day, and two older ladies about lost it. Till I started talking to them, and then one lady touched her right away. That's awesome. See, that's what I want to get out more. Is, people understanding. These guys are awesome. It's crazy. We have issues because my wife uses the reptile keeper thing as an icebreaker at work. Everyone is usually very interested. And that's awesome. Like, I wish that was the same for me. And it's a big thing of where you are located too. Like I said, I don't live in a very high populated area. And I don't see a lot of keepers. It's very, very what are you looking at, city boy? It's very rare for me to find keepers, and if I do, they're typically um, I'm typically getting their animal because they don't longer want it. Um, well, most of my rescues came from people that got a reptile and didn't want it anymore, and obviously they're not a reptile keeper. After that, like I took their took and redid their animals up. So it's hard to find people in certain areas, but also like Zen says in the comments there, it's sometimes it could be an awesome icebreaker and people are super interested. So it goes both ways. It goes either or um, about the critters. What do you think, Charlie? Just like I'm chilling here, Mom. This is fun. Charlie was one of those animals. Whoop, you're jumping, dude. Don't jump off my hand. Charlie was an animal that was bought because they thought they were cool and then dumped them. Um, One of those things. What do you think, Charlie? What do you think? So, if anybody wants to hop on, you guys are more than welcome to. Just let me know in the comments, and I will get you a link to join me and Charlie. Um, yeah. If there's any animals you guys want to see of mine that you know of, you're more than welcome to ask. We're gonna start doing kind of a question or a controversial thing probably every other week, and then we'll do our ladies' night on those opposite weeks. I do want to get more stuff going. I got to do some planning and get my inner thoughts on paper and then into a series. I should have a laptop coming in so I can do the lives a little bit better than on my phone here. We'll get there. Slowly but surely, we'll get there. And we'll keep going. Oh, any questions? Any requests on animals or a topic? More than welcome to it. Oop, it flipped me. Sorry. More than welcome to it. Or any thoughts on it. I love interacting with people. I love everyone's comments. Wonderful. So, yeah. So as of right now, we've got 17 species of reptiles. So there's a lot to go off of for our educational stuff. I'm probably gonna do a featured animal of the week on our Instagram. I'll make videos that go with them to post on here on YouTube and on our TikTok page too. I try to post them all on that, and then yep, I'm gonna get the educational stuff going because I'm excited for that. So I'm not seeing any questions or any more comments, so we're gonna end the live tonight. I know it was a kind of a shorter live than normal. But we're gonna end tonight. I hope everyone had a wonderful week, great weekend. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.